Well, hello and good luck to the Walt. We are in round 2 here, and with a very easy mulligan. I'm gonna keep this. Am I playing first? Yeah, no. But I'll be able to cast the sip and just draw into action, and I have all my colors, which in this deck kind of matters, being able to play the forest. We basically only won round 1, round 1 in the first match because I got Phalanx Leader both times. Looks like my opponent's playing also a slower deck. Do I feel the need to play Baleful Idol? No, I don't. It's probably going to come down next turn. I'm going to draw another 3-drop or something else, and I'll save it to pump it up to something else later, so I'm okay with that. What's going on, Walt? Make sure we're recording here. Yeah, hey guys, we're recording. A little bit of lag. I don't know if it's my computer or Moto here. We'll play things a little conservatively at the moment. Alright. Here we go. Ooh, Phalanx Leader, that's great. And again, we're drawing our only win conditions. This will probably get Lightning Struck. I don't know what else my opponent could be having here. We'll keep open our regen mana. Hey, didn't get Lightning Struck. That's very happy. Considering 2 turns, we'll get to Baleful Eidolon it up. We get a 3/3 Death Toucher. And if we're lucky, we draw a... we don't have any 4-drops, but a 2 or 3-drop creature to play beforehand. Might end up wanting to play the Baleful Eidolon if we draw something to trigger the Phalanx Leader, because I'd rather have a 2/2 and a 2/2 Death Touch Baleful Eidolon than just the 3/3 dude. But I'm a-okay waiting at the moment. Ooh, and an Emissary. That is a fine card. Alright. Try a bunch of lands which we don't really need. Do I want the Eidolon out now or not? It's nice to be able to trade the Eidolon with the Nylea's Emissary. Yeah. I'm being too greedy if I'm trying to keep it. Guy's a good target to trade. Yeah, I take 2 damage, but it's okay. And then a Sip of Hemlock will be able to take out any other Gigantor fatty later on. Five-drop mana is scary for Nessian Asp reasons, of course. You coming in? Nope. Good. Eidolon kept you back. Love it. And we're just going to keep developing the board. Would love anything that I can get to trigger this Phalanx Leader. That would just be insane. My opponent's stuck. Probably playing a 3rd color as well, I'm going to guess. Oops. Represent our God's Willing here, and we'll start being able to bash in soon, so that's kind of nice. Oh, that's what it is. So, curious to see what my opponent's splashing. Maybe my plan's going black-green, splashing a mountain for something. Lash of the Whip. Alright, you're out. Luckily, we have enough other really nice big cards here to where that's not going to matter too much. We get to go ahead and play our lands so that we have Monstrosity available. So my opponent won't be able to attack in. Or rather, won't be able to block. And I'm just going to go ahead and get in a bunch of damage right now. Because I don't have any combat tricks or anything, and I don't really... I'd rather just do it while my opponent isn't able to respond to my Monstrosity with a removal spell. and I get that extra 4 points of damage in. I have 2 very weak creatures out, so I'm very, if a Sip of Hemlock comes down and takes out my Nessian Asp, I can trade off my Eidolon, but then I have a 1/3 to be bashing down. I can deal with 1 big threat, but my opponent has 6 cards in hand, and I'm basically out of gas minus my 1 awesome removal spell, which could be gotten with, a Disciple or something. Now that black is available. That's kind of good. Kind of. It might be time for me to Sip of Hemlock, then I lay an Emissary so I can attack in and not worry about like a Titan Strength pumping up. Though it wouldn't be the end of the world if it was a Titan Strength. What else gets me? 3, 6. It has to be 3 power. So Boon Satyr is the only other thing. That's 6, and it's still a 3-for-1. And I'm perfectly fine with the Emissary being traded with the Baleful Eidolon because of my Sip of Hemlock. Blood-Toll Harpy will be good. And now this Asp does get very good. Because I don't think red-green has anything that can deal with it. And it doesn't. Play the Blood-Toll Harpy. So everyone that we've seen, as in the 3 players, myself and my 2 opponents, are playing 3 colors in a format where that's not advisable. I presume someone's going to get to the finals easily in a nice 2-color deck and destroy the draft. That's probably what's happening. I've been fortunate that I had the Phalanx Leader, which even though it didn't get huge or anything, it drew out that premium removal spell, and I was able to play my Nessian Asp when I wanted with my Forest. My deck is not that consistent. It's powerful when I have that from the deck, but I don't think that's an average draw or anything. Staunch-Hearted Warrior matters very little. It could be a Savage Surge. Ooh, the Ordeal, okay. So it's getting pumped into a 4/4. They'll be able to draw lands, but no one really cares about that when you have a 8/9 bashing through. Right? Correct. As well as some flying action. And then we're just going to make a bunch of dudes in order to seal the deal here. Could not show my opponent, but this just really guarantees a win. I don't think Evangel of Heliod is something that people play around or care about at 6. Looks like my opponent gonna try to show me something or has an answer. I'm not too sure. Maybe opponent wants to see how I play. Who knows? That was interesting. Okay. So my opponent's trying to assemble the Voltron as well, which is good for us in that we get to have time to do what our deck wants to do. There's nothing particularly strong I want to bring in, but is there something that I want to bring out? Pharika's Cure is an option. I didn't think about it in the first match either, but this doesn't really kill a whole lot of what my opponent has. And what I'm seeing now, though, actually, with the black-green, I'm sure Pharika's Cure will have more targets. So we're fine with all of that. Yeah, I think we're just going to keep it exactly the way it is. Ugh. I do not feel very good about this deck. Other drafts, there's way better decks that should have knocked me out already. And I could still get knocked out this round, too, against an opponent who also has 3. But I'm not going to complain. I'm super stoked. I actually thought the last match was pretty fun. That was super cool. Okay, we'll keep this. We have a Guardian's Amulet to go grab a Forest if we want it. Possibly we'll go out of Plains because if we get the Phalanx Leader. And my opponent's playing first, which is weird to me. Seeing how both of our decks are so... Oh, cool, great. So we definitely do not need to get a Plains. We just get to have our Traveler's Amulet, get a Forest, which is... And then we have Perfect Mana, which is sweet. With even a Hopeful Eidolon, which I'm not going to play. I'd rather just crack the Traveler's Amulet. I could just play it and crack the Traveler's Amulet, but I think it's going to be more useful as a bestow option. And we have no pressure from my opponent at the moment, so we'll just pass the turn. Sure. We'll have our Scholar to start holding down some Fortage. We'll see if my opponent attacks. I won't be blocking because I don't want to lose the Scholar, because actually I want to be able to bestow up the Scholar with our nice bestow guys. We'll start with the Hopeful Eidolon, bash in for 2, and then maybe get the Alseid on it as well. We'll see. It's a little risky, but I definitely want to get the Eidolon on it before Lash of the Whip comes down. Does my opponent have a trick, or is just trying to get in with a free attack? I'm definitely not blocking. Another Minotaur, okay. Okay. Love having another Hopeful Eidolon. We'll suit up into Alseid once it goes down. Attacking in for 2/5. My opponent can just block at that point. Yeah, I guess now we're going to stay on the defense. It would be nice if the Minotaur wasn't here, but I could play the Guardians and keep God's Willing up. Nah. Because even if I block and this eats a removal spell or something, I get to put the Observant Alseid on the Hopeful Eidolon. I still have a 3/3 Vigilant Lifelinker next turn. So we'll just block, negate any life that I lose. From like a pump or something, which could easily happen. Yep. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. It doesn't kill me though. It doesn't kill you, I just don't gain the life. In that case, well, I still think I put the Alseid on the Scholar. You maximize my mana, I get to attack in and keep blocking. Again, versus say doing like a an Eidolon bestow, attack in, and have a God's Willing backup. I actually like having Vigilance here, so that's fine. My opponent's not doing much besides the Minotaurs. And if this guy dies again, I'll still have a 3/3 Vigilant Lifelinker after that process. Then things start getting a little bit sketchy. I need to start trying something a little bit better. Ooh. And here's some Intimidate action, so that's going to start getting nasty. Luckily, the Guardians will hold it back. Oh, it's not life-linked. Good. Unlike my guy, which will be life-linked. So I do have to play the Guardians next turn, which sucks, but that's okay. We'll get there until we draw one of our removal spells. Could argue to put the Hopeful Eidolon on the Scholar now, so I can put 4 damage on my opponent, gain 4. It's the same amount as saving. Yeah, I actually think I like that quite a bit, because I gain the 4 life, so it's the same as saving the 4 life. And I get to do 4 damage to my opponent. It does put a lot of eggs in a basket. But having God's Willing backup, I'm very okay with. So if my opponent wants to do some sort of like Sip of Hemlocky type thing, I'll be in good shape. Ooh, a Born Overlord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang. Alright, so we need to be attacking every turn with a Scholar of Atheros. Because this guy is going to kill us in a couple of turns. And I don't know how we deal with that unless we draw one of our removal spells. It's good that my opponent's attacking. I mean, it's not awesome, but it means that's not a block that's going to happen. Ooh, that is not awesome. I attack in. My opponent can just block and then bounce off, but I gain 4 life. Or it trades with a Harpy. That seems particularly horrible. Especially because I can't even use the God's Willing to kill the Born Overlord. So it'll just be used to kill one of flyers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I'm taking next turn. The thing is, I need to be gaining life. I will gain a little bit of life by playing... Yeah. I gain 1 life here. I need to draw a removal spell for Born Overlord, and even then it might be too late because I'll be so down, but hopefully this life gain will help enough. I can have God's Willing and my Scholar access alive. Looks like my opponent sided out red, or just had a splash that wasn't relevant. Not too sure. I assume a Harpy is gone. Could argue the Minotaur, just because 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that Harpy is such a good way to go in the air, so they don't have air, since they don't have flight. But now my opponent did go with the Harpy. I'm actually okay with that, I think. Gonna scry there, which is not good. That was my opponent to draw something decent, and it is something decent, mind you. If I even draw a removal spell, can I survive? I don't think I can. My opponent's just showing me more and more, so that's nice. Yeah, so that's going to be the game. I believe. Four, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I should have played a land. I'm stupid. Doesn't matter right now. 7. It only goes up to 9, so I can't. There's no way I can win. Because I was thinking is if I block both the dudes, I take 6, 7, 8. Oh. 6, 3, 4, 5. No, because I'd have to be able... Looks like only go up to 2 life, right? Yeah. Because I only had 2 activations there to get up to 5, so I needed 3 or some kind of other life-linking advantage. We were just going to be whiffing for a while anyway. So, Born Overlord, huh? Well, I got a lot of removal spells. Let's draw them. Let's rock them. That doesn't do anything. We have our one Guardian, and we have enough black for the Intimidate to where it should be fine. Oh, still keeping it. I do not want to play first. I will keep this hand, even though it's kind of mediocre. Alright, the Walt. Don't cast your bomb. And then I might have a fighting chance. Walt mulligans, that is good in this matchup. Both of us trying to get all control-y on yourselves. Ooh, and opponent's going down to 5. That's very good. We have a fighting chance here. With this mediocre deck. Plains first. Ooh, enemy removal spell. Alright, I'm way more excited now about this. Unless I whiff on lands, which could easily happen. My opponent does have a Satyr right away, which is kind of annoying. But we do have a land, so things are not at their most dire yet. Gets your free 2 points in. Ooh, Phalanx Leader. There's really no reason to play it out first. We'll play the Minotaur, because we're not going to be plussing up anything in the near future. My opponent is way lower on cards. We'll have Divine Verdict up very soon. My opponent is just, yeah, whiffing quite a bit. Play a Phalanx Leader. I will attack in with the Fellhide Minotaur, because I want to get beats on before my opponent draws out of the screw that is existing right now. Stunt-Herd Warrior is an average card. My opponent is tacking in for 2 while tapped out. So if I play Battle-Wise Valor, I get my pump, and I eat the Satyr Hedonist. I think I just have to, right? I mean, I don't think Battle-Wise Valor is going to get a bigger dude anyway, so yeah, we'll do it. It's just a reckless, desperate move on my opponent's part. And actually the scrying will be pretty good here as well. And just gets the guys to be huge. That's actually very good, even though, because I do get to play the Nessian Asp in the near futures. But we're going to go ahead and start with the Alciad, of course. Put on the Phalanx Leader and then a bash for a bunch. So I guess it's no surprise that Phalanx Leader is awesome. Pretty sure we all knew that already. But I'm winning because of the Phalanx Leader. My opponent mulled down to 5. Disciple helps, but probably not by enough. And an Alciad. That is pretty insane as well. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make this guy big enough to be relevant. And make this guy big enough to my opponent still can't block. We just got to keep putting the pressure on. And that is a beating on that mole. I don't know. I don't think my opponent can have anything here. My opponent's not dead. I mean, there's another chump and then goes down to 2, but that's going to be very difficult to have anything. I can't think of anything. Marauder ain't it. It does buy more, whatchamacallit, chump blockers, but that's all they are, and that's okay with me. I don't know how that's going to help you. So somehow this crazy, weird, mediocre deck is making it to the finals. I can only assume that it will lose in the finals. You'll have to stay tuned, of course, to actually find out. I'm very pleased just to make it to the finals with this deck. But maybe the luck sack streak will continue with a bunch more phalanx leaders and very castable Nessian Asps coming down. Let's go ahead and finish the opponent off. And get on to the finals. Here we go. Alright, yay, finals.